Good morning, beautiful people, and thank you for watching Paige of Stylez. Today, I'm going to give you my weekly rotation, and I believe it is number 4. So, this week, it was really nothing in general, other than the fact that I wanted to use some of my carded samples. I do buy a lot of fragrances from retail, and most of the time, if I do, especially Macy's, the lady will hook me up with anywhere between 4 to 7 at a time. So I got quite a bit of carded samples that I wanted to just use. I mean, maybe I'll find a hidden gem in one of these carded samples and just go buy the bottle. With that being said, we're going to hop right into this. So starting off for Monday, from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, I wore L'Homme Libre. Right here, I believe it's ginger. Let me give myself a reminder spray. It is like ginger, I want to say violet leaf, real spicy, not too citrusy, but I really like this. The good thing about wearing this, the performance wasn't too bad. I did get 6.5 hours. It probably went further than that, but 6.5 hour mark was where, I decided to refresh because I felt the smell was very faint at that time. But this is something like a little different from in my collection because it really doesn't have too much of fruit or citrus blast. This is strictly, to me, like I said, want to say violet, maybe some ginger in here. I mean, it's just a very refreshing scent. And for Monday, it wasn't, it's starting to be fall here. That's why I got on freaking plaid flannel. But Monday wasn't that bad at all. So it was like maybe 75, 77 that day. And I felt it real cooling and refreshing. I mean, this is just, to me, I'm not sure why is this. Well, I can see why it's discontinued because it doesn't seem, too mass appealing. But once again, I think the smell is good. The performance was definitely, average to above average. Like I said, I got 6.5 strong hours. Projection was there for a good hour and a half. Probably up until the 5-hour mark, to where that last hour and a half to make it 6.5 hours is where, just became, a slight skin scent. But I did catch wafts of it up until that 6.5 hour mark where I decided to reapply. So for the Monday, from the house of YSL or Yves Saint Laurent, L'Homme Libre. I won't recommend it because it's not mass appealing, but for anybody, just trying to complete the line or you just collect fragrances, this is not a bad fragrance at all. So for Tuesday is when I got the thought of, hey, let me, start going, exhausting some of these carded samples, seeing, what is what. Some of them I already do have in bottles. The ones I don't have is what I decided to wear this week. Starting Tuesday, from the house of Ralph Lauren, Polo Red Rush. This one, I was kind of underwhelmed about it for the fact there was no rush of anything to me. I very much like the original Polo Red a lot better because I could get a little of the cranberry, definitely that coffee, like a sweet coffee note. The red one just seems the original red one just seems a lot better than this. This seems, it was nothing that wowed me about it. Yeah, I don't get the cranberry note in this. Maybe a little coffee, but once again, nothing stood out for it to be called Red Rush. Performance. I did get about 5.5 hours, almost 6, but closer to the 5.5 hour mark. Projection, the strongest projection was up to that 45-minute mark. Then it got real close to the skin. I can't recommend this for anyone, unless, once again, you're a completionist, you're trying to complete the line, then yeah. But this right here, I definitely wouldn't pay retail for this. And I'm pretty much, I won't be buying this. I'm not even gonna lie, I won't be buying it. But this is what I wore for Tuesday. Polo Red Rush from Ralph Lauren. Wednesday, another one from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. They got some bangers. I can't even deny that. this is a one I will have to get a full bottle of, and this is Y Eau de Parfum right here. Not sure if y'all seen that. This is definitely very pleasant. I see why the hype is. Performance-wise, I did get all of 7.5 hours. Just the apple, the ginger. Hell, this is really, really, really a freaking good blue fragrance. I don't compare it to, Blue Day Chanel or Dylan Blue. I think it does, it can stand on its own merits without being compared to other blue fragrances. But the smell, definitely mass appealing. I believe anybody from beginner to intermediate would love this. Even some seasoned noses probably would love this as well. I mean, this is not a bad, once again, I just keep saying, this is not a bad fragrance. And yes, this is bottle worthy right here. Once again, longevity, 7.5 hours. Projection, it was very strong that first hour. Between hours 2 and 4, it still was average. Maybe on your skin may be above average, but this performs very well for this to be, a mainstream designer fragrance right here. This is something I can't complain about. It got me through my work day, pretty much through my work day before I reapplied for the evening time. But 7.5 hours for me for a blue fragrance, that's not bad at all. So once again, for Wednesday, from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, Y Eau de Parfum. For Thursday, I've had to go with 2 fragrances. First fragrance I wore, the performance was to me abysmal for what I thought. But then when I look at the name, I shouldn't have been too surprised. So the first one I started off my day wearing, another one from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, L'Homme Cologne Blue. Refreshing, shower out the shower type of fragrance. It says eau de toilette, but it performed to me like eau de cologne. I only got about like 4.5 hours, truthfully speaking. The smell was pleasant. Performance, wasn't there too much. Truthfully, like the first half an hour, after the first half an hour, I thought it was fading off my skin. I did catch some whiffs for the next 4 hours that I wore it, but truthfully, 4.5 hours I got. Another one where, unless you're trying to complete the line, or you just generally fresh out the shower, good for, to and from the gym, I can't recommend this for anybody. This is not something I would buy anybody for Christmas. That's just me. If I don't really want it, but the smell is good. Your typical freshie, extremely blue freshie. The opening was probably the best part of it. The dry down was pedestrian, as I like to say, but 4.5 hours is just, that doesn't cut it for me, even for a mainstream designer. But that's what I started off the day wearing, L'Homme Cologne Blue. And I ended off my Thursday with a offering from the House of Dapper Fragrances, and that is their interpretation of Parfums de Marly Percival. This is what I probably should have started off my day with. I did just want to go with Curtis samples this week, but close enough. This is like maybe a 5 or 10 mil decant. The opening is beautiful on this. The longevity was actually good, and I got almost 9 hours out of this after this. And once again, should have started off with this one. I don't have the real or the original Parfums de Marly Percival, so I can't compare it, but on its own merits, this is definitely mass appealing. It definitely lasts long. Shout out to, I believe, it's Travis, Mr. Gearhart, for creating this, because this right here is not beast mode, but the longevity was absolutely amazing. I do have 2 other offerings from Dapper Fragrances, so they all last long from this house. But once again, without being able to compare it, I definitely could say I could recommend somebody to grab this one, just due to the fact that it smells beautiful. The longevity is good. Projection was great for the first 2.5, almost 3 hours, and then it didn't sit, that close to the skin until almost the 6.5 hour mark. So that wraps up my Thursday with starting off with Cologne Blue, and from the House of Dapper Fragrances, Parfums de Marly, Percival, or their take one. Friday, another carded sample where I just felt fresh that day. I still didn't have my haircut that day, but I woke up feeling good. It wasn't a pay Friday. Was it a pay Friday? It doesn't seem like it was a pay Friday, just due to bills. But I just wanted something to, match my level of, excitement for that morning. So I went with Moschino Toy Boy. Very floral, rosy, little spices with it. I mean, this right here is an all around great fragrance. I mean, I can pull this off in the spring, summer, fall. Not sure about the winter unless you're in a climate controlled environment, at work. This is beautiful. Longevity, I got 7 hours. Strong 7, not 6.5, not 7.5. I got 7. I did reapply during the last hours of work. Being down working from home, I can reapply and not have to worry about reapplying in public. Projection, got a strong ass, part of my French, got a very strong first 2 hours of it. The next 3 to 4 hours, if my projection was like 3/4 of my arm's length, that middle 3 to 4 hours was, say, skin level, I would say about here. I mean, I smelt it all the way up until the 6.5, going on the 7 hour mark. 7 hour mark is where I reapplied it, just to, catch it, the open and blast again. This gets through 2 thumbs up from me. I mean, I probably will be going to get a bottle of this sometime soon. I do have other things on my want list first, but Moschino Toy Boy, definitely could recommend that. And for yesterday, Saturday, when I did get my hair cut, went out to a few places. I knew I was going out to a few places, and I was already dressed. Decided to go with offering from the house of Navatus Parfums, and that's Viva Morg. As of this week, this is definitely my strongest performer. I did get 9, almost going on 9.5 hours out of this. I garnered 3 compliments even during COVID phase. 2 from the barbershop, 1 from my barber, 1 from another person sitting in there. And I stopped by a store on one of my unnecessary runs just because I thought I was looking fresh, and got a compliment in there as well. For this to be, a boutique / niche fragrance, this is pretty mass appealing. I mean, and that was just 3 compliments with, being masked up and still trying to, maintain a social distancing. I can just imagine what this will do when, basically the world just opens back up and we can be intimate, close encounters again. But this is beautiful right here. This definitely also gets a 2 thumbs up, and I can recommend this and buy this. Well, I could buy it as a gift if I was balling. But definitely 2 thumbs up. I give this, almost 8.75 out of 10. I don't know how I would improve on it, but I will tell you this: performance, 9.5 hours. Projection, strongest projection was that first 3 hours. That next 4 hours, it was still above average because people were smelling it like I just put it on. So Steve, Red Essence, good job on, curating that and putting your input. That's a beautiful ass fragrance. And for today, this morning, felt fresh. I mean, it's kind of cool out here. I didn't know it was gonna be cool after I washed up. But I put this on, and I love the way how the citrus jumps off of my skin from First Blast, and that's from Creed Royal Water. Beautiful, beautiful freaking fragrance. You're gonna get the citrus is going to assault you, like physically assault you. That first, and it's kind of dried down a little bit now. I've done had it on for almost 4 hours, but you still get a slight citrus. It look like might be some musk in here. That's what I'm smelling now. To me, the other fragrance that's 8.5 in my knowledge. Now the last few times I wore it, I only did get about 6.5 hours longevity. Projection, great for that first hour and a half. Then it, sits a little bit closer to the skin. But people around you, I mean, who's going to violate the social distancing 6 feet rule, will smell it on you for at least the first 4 hours. The last two, I mean, I really did have to put my nose to my skin, but another beautiful fragrance. I mean, Creed, I got to give it to you on that one. That gets 2 thumbs up as well. So, I mean, here we have it. My actually 8 of the week, because I wore 2 on Thursday. Let me know in the comments what you wore this week. If you liked what I wore this week, or if you dislike it. I mean, I'm always down to hear some, constructive criticism. But until then, please, hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell for future notifications. Once again, giveaway will be coming at 150 subs. To the next time, y'all be blessed, stay in peace in this book of life. Let's turn to the Paige of Stylez. Let's grow and evolve together. And seriously, in these times and days, I want to say peace, because I think that's what we all need, country and worldwide.